You shut the heavy steel door, the latch clicks into place, and you are entirely insulated from the outside world. This insulation relies on a specific physical reality. At highway speeds, you occupy a sealed metal cage where any immediate exit is functionally impossible. We are examining 3 documented accounts from drivers who discovered their private automotive sanctuary had already been breached by something they couldn't see. A security of a locked car is a trap in itself. While the deadbolts keep the outside world out, they lock you in with whatever entered before the door closed. The first account begins where isolation is absolute. A lone driver navigating a desolate, unlit stretch of interstate at 2 in the morning. The driver checked the instruments, scanned the empty road ahead, and performed the routine action of glancing up at the rearview mirror. Reflected in the glass was a dark, humanoid silhouette, sitting completely motionless in the center of the previously empty backseat. At 70 miles per hour, physics demands your eyes face forward. To turn and confront the back row would mean losing control of the vehicle and plunging into the ditch. The driver was forced to keep staring through the windshield, held hostage by their own peripheral vision, knowing the reflection above the dashboard proved they were not driving alone. Our second account moves the haunting past the rearview mirror and directly across the center console. The driver reported a sharp, localized plunge in the cabin's temperature, an unnatural cold that settled specifically over the right side of the vehicle. The thick leather of the empty passenger seat slowly and deeply compressed downward, bearing the weight of a heavy, invisible mass. Then came the sound. Cutting clearly through the ambient vibration of the engine block was the rhythmic, distinct pattern of wet exhalations coming from the passenger headrest. A visual anomaly in a mirror can be rationalized away. A heavy mass breathing in your ear from 12 inches away forces you to process an immediate physical invasion of your personal space. The final encounter demonstrates what happens when passive observation turns into an active struggle for survival. It started with a total failure of the electrical system. The dashboard lights blacked out, and the radio surged to maximum volume, blasting a chaotic barrage of static and overlapping voices. A heavy, unseen force seized the steering column, violently wrenching the wheel toward the oncoming lane of highway traffic. An unseen entity no longer exists in a purely supernatural sense. At 60 miles per hour, an unwanted input on the steering rack becomes an immediate lethal mechanical hazard. The driver had to lock their elbows and throw their entire body weight into the turn, fighting the phantom torque long enough to slam the brakes and skid onto the gravel shoulder. The unseen passenger weaponized 3,000 pounds of moving steel, effectively turning the driver's own sanctuary into a physical hazard. The individuals who endure these encounters eventually park their cars and walk away, but the psychological payload of the event follows them out of the vehicle. This logic diagram models a psychological process called aversive conditioning. Notice how the brain's default pathway normally links the car to safety and shelter. After an encounter, that pathway is severed, permanently routing the vehicle directly into a threat response trap. The sound of a locking door or the sudden surge of radio static now feeds the threat response, generating an involuntary spike in heart rate and adrenaline. Think about the absolute certainty you feel during a late-night drive home. You rely entirely on the assumption that the dark spaces just behind your shoulders are empty. Before you shift into drive tonight, take a moment to look closely in the mirror, listen to the ambient noise of the cabin, and make absolutely sure you know who you are locking in.